How's your how's your eyes?
Well, it's actually a lot better now. I spoke to a friend of mine he's a retired GP, a
Right.
GP for a few years, and he said it's that the correct name was subconjunctival hemorrhage. And like I said last week, it sounds a lot worse than it is, although it could get more serious. But anyway, he said it'll last 2 weeks, which is what the optician said. It'll go very yellow, or a bit. He said, "Don't worry about that." And it's gone through that stage. And I think probably up until about 2 or 3 days ago, I was
Yeah.
getting a bit of a pain in it every so often.
Yeah.
But anyway, being the hero that I am, I put up with the pain, didn't make a fuss,
I'm gonna do that
and
again. Macho man.
I made as much mileage out of it as I could, as you can imagine, having to have a cup of tea in
Oh,
bed and everything.
oh,
But
we
no,
have
it's okay.
yeah, we have
Hmm?
sophomore here.
You
Hello.
have what? Oh, hello,
Femi
Femi.
is here.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good to see
Hello.
you.
Yeah,
Oh, it's good. Good to have you.
thank you. Good
Oh,
to be here.
yeah, I've just seen Phantom liking one of the things on the WhatsApp thing. Maybe she'll join us. I don't know. Be
Yeah.
glad to have her though. Right. So, welcome to the Alien Spaceship with myself, Emmy Hikins, and he calls me bruv.
And myself, Trevor Gear, and he calls me Cuz.
And myself, Femi Madariola, and he called me Safemo.
Right. So it's good to see everyone. Good to see everyone. So, I don't know how many times we're going to hear or read about in the papers or on the news about another dog attack, a pet dog attack.
Yeah.
It's just getting ridiculous now, isn't it? It's like I know we've talked about pets on this show, and we love pets on this show. We don't harm animals or anything, but I think the government ought to do something about it. They're talking about vetting animals or having there's a certain breed that they was talking about I think licensing or something, and you can't have them or whatever. But it's just I don't get it. What are your views, bruv?
Well, yeah, it's a tragedy. I think if I'm correct, she actually had five dogs. I couldn't
What did
actually
you say?
work out.
All
Well, I don't
right.
know. I couldn't work out whether she had five dogs or five children. I mean, I'm not being sarcastic in saying that. It wasn't really clear at the head of the article anyway, but certainly she had a number of dogs, and one of them attacked her, as we probably read.
Yeah.
She managed to escape over her balcony. So I think she was quite close to ground level. But in fact, I think she was taken to hospital where she died.
Yeah.
It's very difficult, because if we go back a year or so, I'm sure the government said they were going to ban the XL bully dog. I
Yeah.
think it's an American
American. Yeah.
breed. But in fact, I'm not sure whether that was ever really done. I mean, there is a Dangerous Dogs Act, but certainly I believe they're not allowed to be out in public without a muzzle,
Yeah.
let alone a lead. They must be on a leash of some sort as well. But it's very, very difficult, because it's obviously one has to have a lot of sympathy with. I mean, she was a young mother. I'm sure she was a perfectly decent woman. And we read these stories, and I can't help but think sometimes, for some reason, people want to keep what is effectively a wild animal. We wouldn't keep a lion in our house or anything of the sort. But clearly, some of these dogs are dangerous. And I think the point is, it's one thing, isn't it, if a member of the public gets killed, and that does happen sometimes, who
Yeah.
just is attacked out in public, or a child particularly. But very often it is the owners. And, for my part, if I say if the dog is going to attack anybody, then it probably is fair, if that's the way to put it, that it is one of the owners. But it's still a huge tragedy.
It
And to
is.
me, a needless tragedy. Just a final point for me. I think that, governments typically say they're going to do things and end up not doing them, certainly the last one. But it's almost as if because the politicians know that Britain is very much a nation of dog lovers, which is like many other countries as well. Say France, for example, is the same. I think they're a bit wary of clamping down what they might think is too hard for fear of losing the votes again. So I don't know whether that's a relevant thing or not. But all I do know is unless this is really taken in hand, then once a week, once a fortnight, we're going to keep reading that somebody has been killed, either by their own dog, most likely by their own dog, or by someone else's dog. So, yeah, I think the government have got to get very tough on this.
Yeah. Sophomore?
Honestly, my view is a bit of a mixed reaction in the sense that it's very hard to tame human beings,
Right.
not alone dogs,
Yeah.
and especially those XL bully that a lot of people have it in their homes right now, and the government says they've banned those dogs. Those dogs are very, very vicious. And you being an owner, knowing that these dogs are very vicious and these dogs have been banned, why keep these dogs? Why keep these dogs when you know you cannot tame them? And sometimes these dogs, they just switch sometimes. You could be living with the dog for over 10 years. And once they switch, it's very hard for you to get them under control. And like Trevor said, if you're going to have such dog, or if you're going to walk them on the street, they must have nozzles on. We don't want situations whereby we had dogs attack, killing an innocent person. Just like he said, if dogs attack their owners, but somebody else, I was at my work the other night, and one of our residents went out for a walk and got attacked by this. I don't know if it's an ex-bully or whatever. Got attacked, almost bit his nose out.
Wow.
It's honestly, it's terrible. It's terrible. I don't know why. You know what kind of dog you have. And if you're going to take them for a walk, then you must put them on a nozzle to avoid all this. At least, even if they're going to clamp on someone, they're going to jump on someone. You know, the nozzle is there to protect them from using their canine to, cut through somebody. They can still use their claws. It still be okay. But they must, if you're going to keep such dogs, they must be on nozzles.
Yeah.
So that's my view about it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, what I'm thinking is, at what point does a dog that loves you and you love the dog and you feed the dog, at what point does it switch? Is it something that the owners do, or
See, let's look at it this way.
right?
Human beings, we understand each other. We talk to each other, right?
Yeah.
I understand your language.
Yeah.
We still like a Yoruba adage where I'm from. They say the teeth and the tongue all live in the same house, but sometimes you find yourself biting your tongue. Human beings, human beings. I could live in the house with somebody for 20 years, and we'll still have situation where there's going to be clashes.
Yeah.
Husband and wife, brothers, relations, and stuff like that. Let alone a dog.
Yeah.
A dog. You could be passing a message. You could be doing something that the dog feels is a wrong message you're passing, and a switch. We don't know what's going on in the dog's brain anyway, but
no.
If we human beings can have clashes,
yeah,